Namaste friends. In this video we are going to discuss on human rights. What is human rights? Human rights are those rights which inherent to all human beings by virtue of being human. Human rights inherent to all individuals regardless of their nationality, race, ethnicity, gender, religion or any other status. As per Universal Declaration of Human Rights 1948, inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family, which is the foundation of freedom, justice and peace in the world. While talking about development of human rights, most of the book they always start from Magna Carta. They always talk about European history of human rights. But in our Eastern society, from the time of Gautam Buddha, we already practice the basic value of human rights. Confucianism, Hinduism and Stoicism also emphasize the internal worth and dignity of individual. In European history, the Magna Carta was the first document in which due process of law, limits of arbitrary arrest, protection of property rights were included. In Petition of Right, there was due process and habeas corpus, prohibition of martial law in peacetime and other provisions. In Bill of Rights 1988, it incorporated right of speech, fair trial, prohibition of excessive bail or fine, and such kind of human rights provision was included. In American Declaration of Independence, there was the essence of life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. Similarly, in French Revolution, the Declaration of Right of the Man and the Citizen of 1789, it was all about the liberty, equality and fraternity. And after Second World War, the United Nations Charter was solely guided by the international peace and protection of human rights. Now there are 5 major conventions which called the International Bill of Human Rights. Those are Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and its 2 optional protocols. Besides these 5 documents, there are other various kind of human rights documents which was concluded under the auspices of United Nations. While talking about the human rights principle, universality, inalienability, indivisible, interrelatedness, non-discrimination, accountability, due process of law, participation, inclusion, equity, these are the principles of human rights. And here I made one pictorial form of human right. It might be helpful for you to write in exam. There are the fairness, equity, respect, dignity, autonomy. These are the foundation of human rights. While talking about generation of human rights, primarily there was first generation and second generation, positive and negative right, but later they developed third generation and now people talk about fourth generation as well. First generation right was called blue right. Also they called negative right. Those are civil and political rights. For example, right of freedom, right of equality, right of live with dignity. Those are the first generation rights. Second generation rights are also known as red rights. Those are positive rights because country needs to invest to fulfill, to realize these rights. These are economic, social and cultural rights. For example, right to housing, right to education, right to food, right to health. These are the second generation rights. In third generation rights, these are also called green rights. Collective and environmental rights are falls on third generation rights. For example, right to clean environment, right to collective bargaining. These are the third generation rights. And fourth generation rights are postmodern rights. For example, right of LGBTQ, right of mercy killing, right of donate organs. These are the fourth generation rights. As we know, fundamental rights are also human rights. But what exactly the human right and fundamental right? What are the difference? Are they totally same or not? Here we see the difference between human rights and fundamental rights. Though fundamental rights are also part of human rights, but here are some differences. Human rights implement internationally, while fundamental rights implement nationally. Human rights protected by International Convention on Human Rights. Fundamental rights protected by Constitution of the country. Human rights are moral obligation of state. Fundamental rights are constitutional obligation of state. Implementation only occur after the state establish positive legislation regarding human rights, but could directly implement using the extraordinary jurisdiction in case of fundamental right. Human right available for all, irrespective of person's nationality, but fundamental rights available only to the citizen of the country. Human rights cover broad area, fundamental rights cover limited area. Human rights inherently accessible by virtue of being human, but fundamental rights accessible only by being citizen. Human rights need to respected even in the time of war and emergency, but fundamental rights can be temporarily suspended during the emergency situation. Human right is of international concern, fundamental right is of national concern. Human right is branch of international law. There is human rights law, but fundamental rights are part of constitution of the country. These are the differences between human rights and fundamental rights. What are the provision of human rights in our country Nepal? Constitution and legal provision. In our constitution there was human right in preamble, fundamental right, of course they are the provision of human right, and there is directive principle and policies which are also related with protection promotion of human rights. Nepal is party of 7 out of 9 core human rights convention. We ratified ICCPR, ICESCR, CAT, CRC, SEDA, ICARD, CRPD. We are not party to ICPED. This is related with enforced disappeared person, and ICMW. This is related with migrant worker. These two conventions we hadn't become party yet. And we have National Human Rights Commission Act 2068, and in Muluki Civil Code 2074 there are provision of civil rights. While talking about institutional provision, there is a National Human Rights Commission as constitution body, and there are other commission as well, Women Commission, Dalit Commission, and so many are there. We have independent judiciary which protect fundamental right and other human rights. There is Law, Justice and Human Rights Committee in Parliament. There are Red Cross, Amnesty International and various national and international human rights organizations which are functioning. These are the non-governmental organizations. And while talking about Supreme Court decision, here is one landmark decision, Alliance Nepal versus Office of Prime Minister. Decision number is 7243. It says, when law or decision violates the fundamental human rights of citizen as guaranteed by Constitution, the court can utilize the constitutional provision of extraordinary jurisdiction to undertake a judicial review. This is the landmark principle to protect the human rights. While talking about problem, impunity was one of the major problems to protecting and promoting human rights. As per 15th plan data, implementation of court decision is only 39%, and there is prevalence of superstition, malpractices, discrimination and marginalization. There is gender-based violence and human trafficking, prolonged transitional justice. Recommendations made by Human Rights Commission have not been put into effect. Efficacy of Women Commission, Dalit Commission, Madhesi Commission, Muslim Commission, Indigenous Commission and Tharu Commission raises doubt. Criminalization of politics and politicization of crime, poor management of prison and discrimination among prisoners, failure to furnish periodic review to human rights treaty bodies, delay court verdict on the human rights violation cases. These are the problem of human rights protection and promotion in Nepal. While addressing this problem, we can have way forward. Now we come to conclusion. Human rights are the utmost importance, for they are the very essence of our shared humanity. They serve as a beacon of hope, casting light on the path toward justice, equality, and dignity for all. Human rights recognize that every individual, regardless of their background, deserves to be treated with respect, fairness, and compassion. They provide a moral framework that safeguards our inherent worth and protects us from discrimination, oppression, and erosion of our freedoms. That is why the state bears the fundamental responsibility to respecting, protecting, and fulfilling of human rights. Here comes end of our discussion. Feel free to comment in my video and take part in discussion. If you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. Thank you. Namaste.